This is Matt on another episode of The Lantern. I've got Drew Condon, the co-founder, head of design and marketing at BlueTrace, a really cool software company attacking a very important vertical. So let's talk about what BlueTrace is, what's going on in the startup this fall, some of Drew's learnings building startups, and we'll take it from there. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay, first and foremost, Drew, what is BlueTrace?
Yeah, BlueTrace's mission is to simplify the seafood supply chain. And so we think about that a couple of different ways. When we started out, we thought about that as helping shellfish farmers print compliant shellfish tags, which is probably not something
Say that 5 times fast.
everybody knows about, but every bag of shellfish that you eat in this country comes with a tag that makes sure that it's safe and has followed sort of traceability and safety requirements. So we help those folks print out tags and then create like digital receiving and shipping logs to comply with a lot of the state and federal regulations. Where we've grown to is helping small and medium-sized seafood businesses, so both producers and distributors, with things like inventory management, sales, purchases, tracking inventory, and then also doing the same compliance and tag printing and all that good stuff.
Now, customer feedback means many things. For the BlueTrace team, getting customer feedback means being on farms, being with distributors. It is a major collision of the physical and digital world. So as we look into the fall, heading into 2025, what are some of the key initiatives you all are focused on in your team?
Yeah, there's 2 really big things we're doing right now. One is we're continuing to launch our new inventory management platform. So like I was saying, we've evolved to this sort of end-to-end inventory management. So things like helping distributors create sales orders, push invoices to Quickbooks, see what they've got in the cooler, do purchases, receiving, shipping, like full end-to-end inventory management. So that's a great big new product that we've launched. So we're in the process of bringing that to the market. We've got a bunch of customers on it now, and we're really looking forward to the fall as a place when a lot of seafood businesses do their spending and software purchasing, because things like the holidays are over and the winter sort of dies down for them.
Yeah.
And then after that, our big initiative is we are hiring a sales leader.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we have been at this for 6 or 7 years now. 4 founders, a lot of founder-led sales. And a couple additional sales folks who we brought on along the way. And we're really ready to step that up to the next level and bring in a pretty seasoned operator to help us build up the team in the process.
Important status. Now, in terms of like, to help people understand the level of the business, like what are some of the metrics that you would throw out to describe the size and scale of BlueTrace?
Yeah, so here's a fun one that maybe means something to people, but maybe doesn't. So we just crossed what we call 8 million tags.
Amazing.
So these tags are the shellfish tags that if you're in a restaurant and you ever order oysters and you want to see where they come from, you can actually ask them to provide you with the tag, because they keep it on file for 30 days. But we've crossed 8 million tags, which would stretch to, I believe, South Carolina and back. I can't remember if it's and back. And really just eclipsed 500 customers. So that's huge for us.
Nice. And beyond BlueTrace, like you've had a pretty awesome career in startups. What are some of the things you've learned that you would pass back to other founders building verticals horizontally, operators today? What might some of those be?
Yeah, so my background, my career has been in product design, user experience design, and I'm super passionate about that. And we are equally as passionate about that as a founding team at BlueTrace, for sure. The advice I would give is the well-worn of advice of know your customer, but we have taken that to the next level. We actually are co-located with a customer down on the Boston Fish Pier. They are moving fish in and out of the building all day long using our software. If something goes wrong, they come upstairs. If we've got to figure out something new to build, we go downstairs. And I think that level of sort of like always on field study is just absolutely incredible. We're moving super fast on feedback cycles, and also just building like a ton of empathy for people who are doing a pretty invisible job. Not many people think about where their fish is coming from, but it has to go through a lot of hops in the supply chain. There's a lot of people involved doing a lot of super hard work late at night, early in the morning. And so builds a lot of empathy by spending time with folks who are actually out there doing it.
There's farm to table, and then there's ocean to GitHub, maybe.
Yeah.
Last but not least, how can we help you in the community in Boston? You mentioned, obviously, this head of sales hire being pretty fundamentally important next step. Is that it, or is there anything else? How can we help?
Yeah, I think right now that would really be it. We think of this hire as being pretty integral to an inflection in our growth, and we think we occupy a fairly niche space, although I'm learning there are more folks out there than I would have thought who are building software for what are typically considered blue-collar verticals. But I think any help we can get there and finding somebody who's really just passionate about, not necessarily seafood, but helping folks who are doing these jobs that are underappreciated. And as a segment in the market too, definitely underserved. right? So a lot of the stuff is being done on wax notebooks and spreadsheets or ancient legacy software that hasn't been shown much love in the last 30 years.
This is Drew from BlueTrace. I'm Matt from MGMT Boston. Another episode of Lantern. Thanks for joining us.